Hi there, Shelly here, and we're gonna make a peach bread pudding. I'm gonna show you this recipe. This is what it's gonna look like. We're gonna throw it together so that you feel confident to make it as well. I can't help myself when it comes to dessert sometimes, and if you have a favorite fruit, even that's getting old and you need to use it up and it's not fit to eat fresh, use it in this. If you have bread that is not, ideal anymore, then use it for this. So it's a great kind of a comfort food, which, you know what? It's the time for comfort food. So we're gonna start with 8 eggs. And so I broke them all in here. I'm recording this in like the beginning of March, and our backyard hens are more than happy that it's looking like spring and starting to get that feel of spring. And they're still laying beautifully. Soon enough, those eggs are gonna go more yellow as they eat more green grass. All right, let me get this ready. So we're gonna put the whisk on the Flex Plus today. So it doesn't matter which one goes in which side. We're gonna click this on, add a battery, and start whisking. So we have 8 eggs. And this is like, amazing how quickly it does whip stuff. Even whipped cream, like we're stunned how much faster it goes. But anyways, all right, I digress. Okay, so we have the eggs, and now what we're gonna do is we're gonna add slowly a cup of sugar. So 8 eggs, a cup of sugar, and a cup of milk. Mix it all up together. And I've already cut up the bread. And it's a whole loaf's worth. But I do recommend that you weigh it, just so you know that you have the right amount. We're gonna add a little bit of cinnamon and salt. So one of the things that I do is I grab a little plate so that I can put because this does not stand up. But it does lay down and behave itself. So we'll just do that. And then we're gonna add the cinnamon. I do need a teaspoon. And here we go. I did take these out. All right, so a teaspoon of cinnamon. I probably should have added this differently. You know how cinnamon sits up on the top and does not like to integrate in. I want a teaspoon of vanilla as well. So this to me reminds me of, what's it called? French toast. And half a teaspoon of salt. So you could certainly serve this in the place of, I did a half a teaspoon of cinnamon, so I need another half teaspoon. Or you could serve this on a Saturday morning or a weekend morning in place of French toast. It's got fruit in it and it's got a layer also. All right, so eggs, milk, sugar, vanilla, cinnamon, and salt. Next, we're gonna finish whipping this together. So you can see that the vanilla the cinnamon likes to sit on the top. We're gonna just make short work of this. We want the sugar to dissolve a little bit if we can. And then we're gonna soak the bread in it so that it can absorb it. So actually, it's even nicer if the bread is either stale or it's a hearty bread so it can soak it all up. Use your favorite bread. So we suggest thick cut sandwich bread, but whatever is your favorite. Even if you have stale like croissants, if there's such a thing, you can use them in place of this as well. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're going to add our cut up bread. So this is actually, it feels to me like a lot. It's 1.25 pounds. So always weighing is a nice thing to do to make you feel a little more confident that you have the right amount. So this needs to sit a little bit ahead. So I'm getting this done while I'm preheating my oven, and I'm going to make the rest of it here in a second. All right, so we're just gonna make sure that it's all gonna get soaked up with all that yummy flavor. Can you smell the vanilla from here? Just like French toast, only it's for dessert and it's all in one. Okay, I'm just gonna push this down into the liquid and let it absorb. We'll set that to the side, and in the meantime, we're gonna take we are done with this actually. So we're gonna take the whisks off and the, what is this called? It's like the cordless drill piece with the battery. I should have taken the battery off it as well, because you're always supposed to put the battery on last and take it off first. So we're gonna use the food processor part of it, and we're gonna add the cream cheese with this multi-use blade, and to this we're gonna add, I need to wipe my hands off, sorry, 1 second. The cream cheese, we're gonna add a 1/4 cup of milk. We're gonna add 2 tablespoons of sugar. And it's sounding good, eh? 2 tablespoons of sugar. This recipe, if you want it, it's on the Pampered Chef website. Just look up peach bread pudding. Milk, sugar, and vanilla. No cinnamon this time. Okay. A 1/4 teaspoon. About that much. All right, so we'll put the lid on. And let's start. We need to let it build up a little bit. So it's going to do all the work of combining the cream cheese with the milk. So it's nice and creamy. And we have one more thing to do, and that's get our fruit ready. So we're going to use peaches, canned peaches this time. We're going to do it a little bit longer till it's nice and smooth. Still a little bit lumpy. We're going to do canned peaches, but you can use all kinds of different fruits. So whatever is kind of your favorite fruit. So just think of the flavors that you would like together with your bread pudding. So in this case, we're going to use peaches. And then you can drizzle it with either maple syrup or butterscotch sauce when you're done. Put some whipped cream on there if you like, and some toasted pecans. That sounds delicious to me. All right, so this is nice and smooth, and you're gonna notice kind of what's happening on the underside. And how do you clean this? So first of all, we'll take this part of it out, but this is designed to come off. So when you squeeze this here, just in the center, then you notice that the hand washing you need to do is much less. So it's really just the feeding thing. It can go under the hot soapy water, but then this piece can go in the dishwasher. So let me put this in the sink. And I'll be right back with you. All right, and so then this is all nice and creamy. That off, and again, this will come apart and go in the dishwasher as well. It almost looks like soft ice cream. What's not to love about this? All right, you can see that it's nice and creamy, and it's just dripped a little bit from the lid, but we have a beautiful creamy addition to add to this. Okay, now the last thing to do is to drain the canned peaches. So I'm going to use our colander and show you the can opener as well. So the can opener, one of the things I want you to notice, this is a lid that has a pull top rather than using the pull top. Now this is a bent can, so I'm not sure how it's going to work. We'll give it a try. So if it's not, the lid isn't bent, and I don't think it is. So I'm just going to use the can opener on it anyways, instead of using the pull tab, because then I don't have any sharp parts. And so the lid and the can and everything is dull. So you've probably saw that. It got easy. I go backwards now. It kind of pulls off. You use the little beak. You see it on there? To grab the edge of the lid. And now we're just gonna put this in here, let it drain, and we have 2 cans to do. All right, sometimes you can use the underside of the can if the top is damaged in any ways. Not all the time, can you? But using this, there, it just got easy. Because nothing is sharp and you're not actually dealing with a lid that goes down in, you don't have to wash everything as much and as carefully as you do if your lid falls in, because that's kind of gross. All right, so we do need to chop this up a little bit. So what I'm gonna use is the salad choppers, and they're basically like big teeth, and they can just go in and coarsely chop things. So this is really fabulous whenever it's messy or hot and you just want it coarsely chopped. You don't want it all fine. And so we use this for, you know, you're making tacos and you want to just chop up the toppings, or you can chop up cooked chicken, anything you want in chunks. Egg salad, if you want it chunky, use this. Okay. And then there's one. There you go. Then this just goes in the dishwasher. When it's in the drawer, it has a little lock so that it stays and it behaves in your drawer. All right, we are ready to assemble this. So what we're gonna do is show you a beautiful pan that just came out from Paper Chef. It is a 9x13, part of our carbon steel line. And somehow, what I do want to use is not here. All right, this is what happens when you live with other people who put things in places that you don't. All right, so what, oh, here it is. Here I am bad-mouthing my family. I do want to use this chef's basting brush. What I do usually with this line of cookware, whether I'm putting a bundt cake in the fluted pan, a fluted cake in a fluted pan, or any of the other pieces, I just use some canola oil with the little basting brush, and it doesn't have to be perfect. Normally when you're baking, you do need to use like a baker's paste or something, which is like equal parts flour, water, and flour, oil, and solid shortening, like lard or Crisco. And then it stays up and it's really nice and even. This cookware is so beautifully non-stick that you generally don't have to do that. All right, so this still hasn't soaked up quite all of the liquid, but it is getting really beautiful. And what's gonna happen is, because there's so many eggs in here, the eggs are going to puff up and it's going to lighten it, and it won't be quite so heavy as it's looking right now. So we want to put about 1/3, so you can just mark it off with your eyeball and like draw a line. We'll put some of the liquid in, we'll leave the rest here, and then we will do the rest. Okay, so we just want this nice bottom layer in here. It smells so good. Cinnamon and peaches and vanilla, like really, and cream. It is a beautiful thing. So we're gonna try and make a layer on here. Let's see how we do. All right, I'm gonna use the back side of this to scrape it down, because there are ridges so that it can catch stuff and tumble it around in the bottom of this food processor bowl. So here we go. So one of the things I'm just so grateful for is just time to connect and with my family, especially these days, and we can all appreciate, you know, comfort food. And I think this is what inspired me to make this recipe today, because we could all use that in these crazy times. All right. We wish we could send more comfort to people directly involved anyways, we're all doing that in any way that we can, and you know, certainly the outpouring of care and support from the world, from people to each other, is so important. And in every culture, food is a thing. You know, food is a thing. It's a way we communicate our love. So we are going to communicate a lot of love today with this. So now we're going to add, make sure I'm doing this right, cream cheese evenly over the bread, and then the chopped peaches. All right, so you can see my chopped peaches all ready to go. Oh, yum. So there's that. Guess who's gonna be drinking peach juice? Okie doke. This looks delicious. So it is not summertime right now as I'm doing this, but it is going to give us little memories of summertime. All right, and then what we do is we put the remaining bread cubes, and it doesn't necessarily need to fill the whole pan. That's okay, because it's gonna puff up in the oven. The oven is set to 375, and what we find in this pan, so impressive results, is the even baking and the beautiful brown, golden brown bottom, and how easily it releases. It is a dream to bake with. And so you can use it for all kinds, sweet and savory cakes, whatever you want, lasagnas, casseroles, and then it has a really nice lid that will go on it for storage. So this is ready to go in the oven, and I will show you pictures when it's done. Thanks for joining me.